All right, let's talk about how to wire one circuit, or one breaker into a panel. In new construction, you want to make sure that you label the circuits on the sheathing of the wire, like this group did on their trainer, but this sheathing is going to get removed. So you want to make sure that it's also labeled just outside of the breaker panel, because we're going to remove all the sheathing from inside of the panel. If you're adding a breaker to your home, then that wire is going to come in from the top or from the bottom, and you want to make sure that the power is turned off before you even remove the face of the breaker. You remove the cover, you want to confirm that you've got space in your panel for an additional breaker. You want to make sure that you purchase the right type of breaker for your panel and the right amperage for that circuit. Now it's time to install the breaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our utility knife. I'm going to do the doorbell and exterior light circuit, and so I want to make sure that that's labeled out here. So I'm going to label this sheathing for my exterior light and doorbell. I'm going to do that with my Sharpie. Okay? It really doesn't matter what circuit or where it goes in the panel. That is strictly up to the electrician and being organized. For your trainer purposes, I haven't given you any regulations on where that goes. So I'm going to take my utility knife and I'm going to gingerly cut that sheathing like I've taught you just inside the panel. Now this wire has been secured within 6 inches of the panel, so after I've made that cut, I should be able to pull that down and slide that sheathing off. This goes in the trash. Okay, I'm going to drop that down on the ground for now. Also, the paper insulation on the inside is trash. Once the sheathing is removed, just inside the panel, we want to make sure that we've got a grommet here before we get too far down the road. And this group needs to install one of those yellow grommets that we talked about to protect those wires coming into the top of the panel. Okay? Assuming that grommet is installed, I'm going to move forward. So the ground bus is down the left side of this panel. So I'm going to take the ground wire and I'm going to very neatly bend that at 90 degrees, take it all the way to the corner and bend it again at 90 degrees so that it's nice and clean. And I'm going to come down the inside of this breaker panel. There's a little black ring, and it's an organizing ring. And you can see right here, there's black ones on all 4 corners. And so I'm going to feed this wire into that ring. And that really is more like a bright for the wire to keep the wires organized. So I've got my wire bent at 90 degrees, nice and cleanly, and come down here. Now let's say that I'm going to put this breaker in the 3rd position on the panel on the left side, this exterior circuit that I'm working on. So what I would want to do is make sure that I'm going to put the ground wire for the 3rd circuit under the 3rd screw. It's all about being organized. So I've got all this extra tail, and so I'm going to cut off all that extra tail. Now, nice and neat here through the bridle, and then at the 3rd screw, I'm going to bend that at 90 degrees. And I'm going to cut that tail off. Now with my number 2 Phillips, I can even use my wire cutter or my wire stripper to help me feed that wire into that ground bus, like so. You're going to want to loosen that screw before you get too far down the road, as I failed to do that in my demonstration for you here. Once I get that screw backed off enough,